team we sent to Nevada to investigate Area 51 were confronted by the American Air Force. Our ship crashed in the desert. They're being held captive by the humans. Hagar is on his way.
Our objective has always been not to interfere with activities on Earth. We should remain observers.
That is no longer acceptable. They have captured 2 of our crew and we must now treat them as hostile. You must give the order.
Headline edition, July 8th. The Army Air Forces has announced that a flying disc has been found and is now in the possession of the Army.
This is Gwelder. Load the ships and attack.
The urgent message to stay home appears to finally be getting through. Governors in 4 states have now asked residents not to go out unless absolutely necessary.
Just as it is no time to panic, but it is time to be smart.
All pilots accounted for.
Market package Romeo, 17 degrees, 39 minutes, 42 seconds north.
Copy that, weapons hot. I'm going in. Copy, you got it. I'm on your wing, partner. Form up on my wing.
Human craft in range. Ready for your order, sir.
Fire.
Direct hit. Human fatalities.
If there's a diplomatic solution, then I'm open to it.
I think we're past the point of negotiations, Mr. President. This is an election year. You need to take a strong stance.
How many human casualties so far?
Low hundreds. Very good figures.
If those figures rise, we might need to reconsider our position.
Understood, Mr. President.
The lockdown is concerning to me. An economic crash would be a disaster. Liaise with Area 51, NASA, and the Air Force. I want a swift and decisive resolution here.
Understood, sir.
All pilots get ready to jump on my mark. Copy. You got it. 3, 2, 1, mark.
Fire mission danger close.
We've lost so many. But I didn't come here to lay waste to a planet we helped build. We came here to rescue our crew, and that's what we need to do. Do you want to negotiate with the humans? Yes. Set the ship down somewhere quiet. All of the other ships to pull back.
I think you are making a mistake. We are beyond the point of negotiation. We should be focused on securing victory.
Our original mission was one of retrieval and recovery. We need to return to that objective.
This is General Romney of the United States Air Force. Who am I speaking with?
My name is Nagon, and I represent Gweldor, the leader of a group from the Zeta Reticuli star system. I have a proposal.
Go ahead.
If you allow us to return to our retrieve and recovery mission without further hostility, our ships will stand down. There will be no further loss of life.
Our boys are giving you a goddamn ass-kicking out there. You're in no position to be dictating terms.
With all due respect, General, you have overseen a significant loss of human life during this conflict. Do you really want more blood on your hands?
We do not negotiate with terrorists, domestic, international, or intergalactic.
So, General, I understand that the aliens have expressed an interest in a ceasefire.
Yes, sir. They didn't threaten any further hostilities. In fact, several of their ships stood down after that. We've disengaged. Whether that's temporary or not, I don't know.
That is temporary. We need to show force in this situation. Collins, how many of their numbers do we have alive in Area 51?
Well, there were 2 ETs on the craft, which we recently recovered, sir. They're currently in our research facility.
Have they shown hostility?
They were injured, sir, so no. They're pretty docile and in recovery.
Sir, the ET I spoke with indicated that if they could retrieve their 2 comrades, they'd leave the planet in peace.
Oh, it is beyond that. We need to resume combat until they are obliterated. Is that understood?
Yes, sir. It's understood.
We got blips inbound. Copy. I'm on him.
59 degrees, 5 minutes, 39 seconds west.
The humans are on the offensive again. We have no choice but to defend ourselves. Are you sure you want to do this, sir? Force seems to be the only thing these humans understand. It's kill or be killed. Human craft in range, sir. Fire.
All enemy crafts obliterated. Repeat. All enemy crafts obliterated.
Mr. Collins, this is Chief Master Sergeant Maitland.
It's good to speak to you.
All right. Let me bring you up to speed on where we're at. Now, the Air Force, under the command of General Romney, are leading the offensive here on the ground. They've engaged with several alien craft, but so far their efforts have been, well, less than ideal. A few weeks ago, 2 of our astronauts discovered an alien ship near a lunar impact crater known as the Atkin Basin. They attempted to make contact with our new friends, but there's no one home. They did, however, manage to tap into their ship's frequency, and we've since been able to monitor their communications. Now, that ship is the same one that crashed in the Nevada desert. Now we're being instructed by McCaffrey to hold press briefings saying that they came here as the aggressors, and that's not the truth. And we got the ship's logs to prove it. They were here on a rescue and recovery mission. And I reported all this to the Air Force, but they didn't listen. They just shot them down. We were the aggressors. Of course, now we have to toe the party line and honor McCaffrey's wishes. But you see, I'm a tad confused about that. Why are we now taking orders from someone who seems to have come in out of nowhere? I mean, is he even officially a part of this administration? But why is he the one calling the shots on behalf of the President of the United States? Strange situation. Wouldn't you agree, Mr. Collins?
The Bible makes no mention of extraterrestrial life. In fact, any discussion of it is forbidden.
With all due respect, the Bible was written at a time when religious leaders were also the lawmakers. Lawmakers want subservient citizens. The easiest way to propagate that is by having humans focus on everyday concerns and fears. Saddest thing is, many people buy into the idea. Only intelligent life that exists out there. Considering the size of the universe, and the fact we don't have technology to take us far beyond our own little corner of it, seems rather arrogant of us. Leave that.
I've noticed people are starting to turn on each other. Some are even still in denial.
As humans, we are programmed to conform to a certain way of thinking and being. Therefore, we fear anything that's different or unusual. And it's that fear that keeps us from accepting the fact that, scientifically speaking, it's perfectly plausible that other intelligent life exists out there. The media, oh, don't get me started about the media. The media publishes information about UFO sightings when it's exciting, but always in a mocking, whimsical tone, reassuring the public that this can't possibly be true.
Is that what happened at Roswell?
I believe so. Initial reports seemed authentic. or in eyewitness accounts with valid photographic evidence. And the authorities stepped in. Everything changed. The witnesses were discredited. The official line became it was some kind of weather experiment.
You don't believe it was?
But now, they have no choice to acknowledge the fact of what we have seen with our own eyes. Everything's changing now. We'll emerge from this into a totally new world. Potentially an entirely new collective consciousness.
The military are resisting negotiation. We need to speak to another government agency. What other agency would be receptive? NASA and the Space Force are responsible for the civilian space program. Should we conduct a reconnaissance mission? Yes. They have a base in the Nevada desert. Send Elon and Elga, then report back to me. Yes, sir.
Elon, you will accompany me to the desert base. We have been asked to undertake a peaceful mission, but in wartime we need to show our enemies how formidable we are.
Greetings, Gweldor. Regretfully, I have bad news.
What is it?
Elgor and Elon are dead.
What happened?
During their reconnaissance mission, Elgor and Elon confronted one of the Earthlings. They fought valiantly, but the human took their weapon. Elgor and Elon were stabbed to death.
That's enough, we can't go on like this.
Morning, sir. I've been asked to brief you.
That's correct.
As I'm sure you're aware, enemy hostility has escalated. There was an incident at our desert base, and two little bastards broke in and attacked our personnel. The situation is now under control, but, sir, they had some kind of a bladed energy weapon on them. It was made out of some kind of material our scientists ain't never seen before. We shipped the bodies along with the weapon back to Area 51 for further analysis. Sir, I think it's clear that their motive was revenge. You and I both know that their original intent was never to attack. But now the Air Force has shot down so many of their craft, they are hell-bent to attack us on all possible fronts. I mean, every department is under threat, and yet this administration is determined not to negotiate.
I know that.
Well, all right then. Surely we can do something to find a peaceful solution, to cease hostilities before we lose any more lives.
5 minutes, 39 seconds west.
Copy that. Weapons hot.
I copy.
I'm going in.
Affirmative.
Humans are preparing another airstrike. One of our crafts is isolated. Contact the other ships. Coordinates 0594. Backup urgently required.
A direct hit. Craft obliterated.
Beings from another planet. Why would they come to this country? Why America? I read a book recently explaining how the night sky played an important role in early Native American cultures. Studying the stars, tribes would theorize about the meaning of life, the universe, and the afterlife. The Cheyenne Indians of the northern plains believed the souls of the dead traveled along the Milky Way, the road of the departed, they called it. The spirits of the dead follow the path where the footsteps all pointed the same way, to the Milky Way. And a camp in the stars where they reunited with all the friends and family they had lost. Maybe that's why these extraterrestrials have come here. Our indigenous population always did say the answers to life and death could be found up there.
The extraterrestrial mentioned Zeta Reticuli?
That's correct.
I actually have an interesting article that relates to that.
Which is?
Have you ever heard of Barney and Betty Hill?
Can't say that I have.
They were a married couple who claimed to have been abducted by extraterrestrials in New Hampshire in 1961. It was the first widely publicized account of an abduction in the United States. It came to be called the Zeta Reticuli incident because they claimed that the aliens who abducted them came from that solar system.
Interesting.
They went to a hypnotherapist in an attempt to try to recall some of the memories of their abduction. An interesting thing emerged from the sessions. Betty drew a star map which contravened the traditional map that astronomers had grown accustomed to.
Do we have access to that?
I dug into the archives this morning. I have it in front of me.
What's it tell you?
My colleague Atterberg proposed that the base stars are Epsilon Indi and Epsilon Eridani, both of which are near the lower limit of life-bearing planets. at least according to most exobiologists. I don't concur. Neither one is as suitable as Zeta 1 and Zeta 2. Zeta Reticuli is a unique star system in the solar neighborhood, almost identical to our sun, just 39 light years from Earth.
So, what's the conclusion?
This map is from the perspective of Zeta Reticuli, not Earth.
White House spokesman Clarence Boddicker today held a press conference to allay fears the Air Force is losing the battle with the extraterrestrials. Mr. Boddicker informed reporters that the military have the situation in control and had landed significant airstrikes on several alien crafts. He described the aliens as unjustifiably aggressive and a very real threat to humanity. Mr. Boddicker stressed that while the military are in control, all citizens of Nevada and surrounding states must remain in their homes until the situation is resolved.
Dan?
Hey, Maggie.
Hi. I've been watching the news.
Maybe you shouldn't.
You okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. It's just starting to get a little crazy here.
I'm worried about you.
Don't be, it's gonna be okay.
There's footage of all those crafts all over the internet, and I knew this day would come, but now it's here. It's surreal.
I know, I understand. But this is why I signed up in the first place. You know, to be on the front line during a key moment of history.
Just be careful. Remember there's someone here who loves you very much.
I love you too.
We're losing too many of our crew. Our numbers are severely depleted.
Now is not the time to pull back. We need to remain on the offensive.
I know you want a diplomatic solution, sir. That could still be possible.
No, that is simply not acceptable at this stage. We need to show more force.
Hey, Mum. How's it going?
Oh, as well as can be expected when you're under house arrest.
Well, in fairness, there's a pretty good reason for it.
I suppose. Anyway, how are you?
Not bad. How's Dad?
Bonkers as ever. He's in the bedroom right now, reading some fishing magazine and laughing. I have no idea what he finds so funny about it, but there we go.
You've got to love his quirk.
Have you heard from Danny? It would be nice if he could get a normal job.
He loves his job, and we have a pretty good life because of it.
But is it really worth all the worry?
Come on, Mum. I do worry, but let's not make it worse.
Okay. Sorry. Oh, you know, love, it's so hard that we can't be together in person during all of this. I just want to give you a big hug. This video chatting helps, but it really isn't any kind of substitute.
I know.
I want to divert our course. We need to go to Egypt.
Forgive me for asking, sir, but what would be our mission in that region?
The pyramids are a spiritual hub for humanity. Perhaps we can use that power to gain insight into the future.
Thank you for speaking with me, General.
Not a problem. What can I do for you?
Well, sir, believe me, I understand the chain of command and know that if we don't follow it, lives are lost. But in this particular scenario, I feel we need to be on the right side of history.
And you don't feel we are?
Not really, sir, no. The aliens have indicated several times that they're prepared to cease hostilities. Yet, McCaffrey is pushing us further and further into conflict.
I'll level with you, Colin. I don't like McCaffrey any more than you do. He's a ball-busting prick. Circumventing the chain of command isn't going to do me any favors.
But you're the General of the Air Force. You have every right to speak with the President directly. You don't need to go through McCaffrey.
I know that.
Well, then why don't you?
You think the President will have a different stance than McCaffrey?
I don't know. But the aliens are interested in a diplomatic resolution. Okay, McCaffrey is determined not to give them that. But maybe the President will be more receptive. Look, I just think it's worth it to try and appeal to his better nature. I know given the President's respect for your war record, you're the right man to do it.
I appreciate your confidence, Colin. I've always been proud of my record. But it has come with a cost. I have a history of PTSD. Truth be told, Collins, they've been trying to put me out to pasture for a while. But I'm not ready to retire. That'd be like admitting defeat, letting my personal demons beat me. So I'm not too keen about putting a blot on my copybook with the President and giving folks an excuse to set me aside. It is what it is. But I don't need any further stress here. I just want to do my job.
Look, maybe we'll win this war. But at what cost? We want the entire nation living with the same trauma that you've had to contend with for years? What kind of nation are we even going to be left with?
It's being widely discussed on social media that an alien craft has been spotted over Egypt. According to our intelligence, it's the mothership. They're headed towards Giza.
The ancient Egyptian pyramids of Giza. One of the world's greatest architectural wonders and mysteries. Considering they originated sometime between 2580 and 2560 BC, archaeologists and historians are puzzled at just how these huge structures were built. One theory is they may have had alien assistance using advanced technology to create them. The pharaoh Akhenaten's strange appearance caused skepticism among ancient alien theorists, believing he may have been an extraterrestrial.
Is there anything I can do to stop this destruction?
No. The humans must save themselves.
Open your mind. Tap into your higher consciousness.
Your days of undermining me are over. You will kneel before me, you pitiful creature.
I had a vision about Hegel. I think we have a potential problem ahead.
I agree, we don't share the same mindset anymore.
Hey.
You're looking tired.
Yeah, I am. Things are so tense down here.
The news doesn't show much anymore. They seem to be censoring everything right now. What's happening?
Air battles. We're losing a lot of men.
How are you doing?
Just trying to stay focused on the job, that's all I can really do. Try not to stop and think about what's going on too much. How are you? You okay?
Yeah, I spoke to Mum earlier.
How is she?
Struggling with lockdown. I guess we all are. It's not easy to be kept apart from those you love.
Yeah, I know it's hard, but look, it's for everybody's safety.
I'm looking forward to you coming home.
I don't know when that will be.
Danny.
Yeah?
Nothing. Just stay safe, okay?
Yeah, I will.
All we've heard from the enemy is bombastic rhetoric and a replaying of the demands for negotiation.
Precisely, sir. There's an avenue open for peace talks.
But Romney, this is an election year. We've lost a lot of lives. If I don't oversee the eradication of these aliens, the people will never forgive me.
On the contrary, sir. I believe the people would appreciate a diplomatic solution in this lockdown sooner.
It's interesting, Romney. You spent decades straddling the world of the military and politics, yet you still don't understand the political side.
What do you mean, sir?
The average hard-working Joe doesn't want to risk his life in a war when the best he can get out of it is to come back to his home in one piece. Relatives don't want to worry about their loved ones dying either, but it is the leader of the country who determines the policy, and even in a democracy, voice or no voice, the people can always be brought to the bidding of the leader. All you have to do is tell them that they are being attacked and denounce the pacifists for lack of patriotism and exposing the country to danger. It works the same way in any country. That's what we need now. We need to galvanize the people into patriotism as we mop the floor with these aliens. We need to be strong in this moment, not retreat. All I need from you is to help us win, understood?
Yes, sir.
Just remembering something I haven't thought about in years. When I was a kid, my family and I visited relatives in Arizona. The Navajo man, he told me a story about this calf in a nearby farm. He was born prematurely. He was so weak, everyone thought he wouldn't survive. But his mother, she kept on giving it milk, kept on keeping it warm. She was determined that her offspring would survive. A few weeks later, the calf was strong and full of life. But it wouldn't take its mother's milk no more. A couple of days later, the mother cow, she died. The Navajo man, he told me, in order for something to live, something else must be sacrificed.
This is Dr. Mantle, head of the Sky Genesis program. We've had an order from McCaffrey to deploy one of our androids to the Nevada desert. The T.800 model. According to reports from our intelligence agencies, the aliens have several androids aboard their mothership. McCaffrey wants our model to infiltrate the craft. He feels doing so via artificial intelligence could yield better results than attempting to negotiate with the aliens.
This is not one of ours. We believe the humans manufactured it.
I didn't realize they had such advanced technology.
They do. It's just not been disclosed to the humans by their government agencies.
Where did you find it?
The outskirts of Reno. One of our ships crashed out there. It didn't put up any resistance when I suggested it come aboard. What is your model number and who manufactured you?
I am cybernetic model T.800, manufactured by Sky Genesis in the year 2015. We are seeking a peaceful resolution with the humans. Is there anything you can tell us to assist with that process?
I can tell you that they are not interested in a peaceful solution. They want to eliminate all of your kind.
If you're going to become hostile, we will treat you accordingly.
Self-destructing.
Good morning, General.
Morning. Mighty early for you, isn't it, McCaffrey?
We are both busy, man, so I will get straight to the point. I understand that you spoke to the president.
As it is my right to do.
I'm not questioning your right to speak to him. My concern is the topic of that discussion. I understand that you encouraged him to authorize a stand down of troops?
I believe there's room for negotiations.
That directly contravenes United States policy.
This situation has caused too many lives already, not just in combat. Think of the health effects on the civilians as they stay locked down in their homes.
I never had you down as being such a humanitarian, Romney.
With all due respect, McCaffrey, don't condescend to me.
Fact is, Romney, I am now above you in the chain of command. And if you ever break that again, I will make sure that not only are you fired, but that you are brought up on charges.
Charges? For what?
Oh, I will think of something. Maybe we'll find some interesting photos and videos on your home computer. Who knows?
You're a real poisonous son of a bitch, aren't you?
Just heed the warning. And don't ever go over my head again.
There were no casualties, just several injured. Lucky for us that the observation pod was so robust. The humans are very naive if they think such a primitive system is enough to annihilate our ship. I suggest that we strike back and take a sizable proportion of the humans out, not just military. The governments of Earth need to feel the maximum impact of our firepower. There is no room for diplomacy now.
Your advice is reckless, and not in line with Gweldo's wishes for a peaceful resolution. We'll reconvene this evening to decide what the next step will be.
Hey.
You okay?
Yeah. We're gonna stand down at the minute, so just hoping that lasts.
Yeah, let's hope so.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm good. I do need to tell you something though.
Yeah, okay. What? Hey, look, whatever it is, you could tell me.
I know. I just don't want to heap more pressure on you doing all of this.
Come on, look, it'll be fine. You can tell me anything, I'll understand.
Okay. I'm pregnant.
Holy shit.
Is that like a good holy shit or a bad one?
It's a good thing.
We didn't plan this. I was worried how to react.
No, I'm delighted.
I'm so relieved. I know the timing is rough right now, but
No, we shouldn't worry about that at all, okay? It was gonna happen sooner or later, right?
Right.
Have you told your mom?
No, yeah, I wanted to talk to you first.
Well, I'm sure she's gonna be delighted.
Yeah. A little bundle of hope is all we all need right now.
That little weasel has tried for years to oust me from Key Council. Treacherous troglodyte. I'll show you all. It's time to take this ship over.
White House today issued a statement crushing speculation that the extraterrestrials have approached them about a potential ceasefire. Spokesman Clarence Boddicker reiterated that it was United States policy not to negotiate with terrorists, but that no such approaches have been made. He said that any communication between the United States military and the aliens resulted in hostility. Mr. Boddicker also reminded the public to remain in their homes and said that additional law enforcement will be deployed to deal with those who don't adhere to the guidelines.
Hegel had a major malfunction. He fought with two of the androids. They are beyond repair.
Where is Hagar now?
He deactivated himself. He realized he had gone too far. I've given instructions for him to be dismantled.
It's good to speak to you.
You too. What can I help you with?
Well, it's a delicate matter.
Everything is at the moment.
Look, would you be interested in privately making contact with one of the alien crafts? I'd like you to be a correspondence which doesn't involve the military or intelligence branches.
What would be the purpose?
Well, to try to establish better relations. I mean, perhaps we can arrange the return of the captives and their equipment?
If I'm hearing you correctly, you're suggesting that we circumvent the military, the White House, and negotiate with the aliens privately.
Well, if you want to put it that way.
Are you fucking crazy?
Look, I think it's crazy for good men to stand by and do nothing when the world around them is burning.
We would definitely get fired for this. Hell, we could be brought up on treason charges for Christ's sake.
Okay, look, we don't have to go as far as returning the aliens. But we could still arrange a meeting with them. Establish better relations. Let them know that they have potential allies here on Earth. We can build bridges.
Greetings, Gwildor. Once again, I must apologize for being the bearer of bad news. After hearing of your mission on Earth, the reptilians invaded Zeta Reticuli. Retreated, but the damage to the planet is substantial. Unfortunately, that is not the end of the story. The reptilians are now headed towards Earth. Whatever their motive is, you need to prepare. They will not come in peace.
Okay, my husband and I were driving back to New Hampshire after a vacation in Montreal. We saw a light anomaly in the sky. We pulled over at a picnic area just south of Twin Mountain. We got out of the car to take a closer look, and it appeared to be some kind of a craft. It hovered very close, so we returned to the car. Suddenly the car began to vibrate, and we both felt a tingling sensation through our bodies. Then there was this onset of, I don't know how to put it, it was like an altered state of consciousness, like our minds were being dulled. There was a strong beam of light. It felt magnetic. It drew us up out of the car and up towards the underside of the craft. And a hatch opened and sucked us inside. There was a corridor, more like a tunnel. It was dark, but I could make out some of the architecture. It was unlike anything I'd ever seen. like something out of a science fiction movie. 2 aliens accosted us in the corridor. I knew resistance would be futile. I didn't try to fight them as they led us down the corridor. The aliens didn't seem overly aggressive, but they clearly had a plan for us. They experimented on us in an examination room aboard the craft. One of the creatures put a large needle in my stomach. I screamed in pain, and they seemed surprised. One of them laid a hand on me, and the pain left me. I wondered why, if their motives were vindictive, they would take away my pain. Perhaps, but I got the impression they were curious about our species, not out to harm us. I think they are always trying to communicate with us. We don't listen.
I've decided to take the lead in this mission. Are you sure, sir?
A true leader is judged by the equality of his actions and the integrity of his intent.
I understand. I'll take the reins in the command center during the mission.
Gentlemen, we're getting reports that several alien ships have left Earth. They're just hovering in our exosphere. And the mothership is still on Earth. At this time, it's unclear what their strategy is, but we do not think it's an official retreat. They're fixing to do something up there. Good or bad? I'm afraid we just have to wait and see.
Ready for the order, sir.
Reptilian crafts are off-grid. Their mothership is leading the way. Do you have it in your sights? I'm just locking in. Is the reptilian mothership in range? Fire. A direct hit. All ships engaged.
Obliterated.
The reptilian ships have been dispatched. All of our crafts disengage and retreat to Earth.
The enemy has engaged with some other unidentified hostile force. At this time, it's too early to speculate, but we believe that these aliens were at war with another species who also happened to be headed towards Earth. I mean, the upshot is interesting. I mean, after everything, they defended our planet.
This is Neil Taylor, representative of NASA, the National Aeronautics and Space Administration. I'm seeking to speak with whoever's in charge of your fleet.
This is Queldor of Zeta Reticuli.
You speak English?
Yes.
I'm contacting you confidentially. This does not have the endorsement of our president or any other military or intelligence agency in the United States. I propose we set a meeting. Perhaps we can provide mediation between those in power on this planet, and we can end the bloodshed.
Sorry to meet like this. My superiors are concerned about the fallout from the air battles in the region. I come to you with the greatest respect and hope that we can engage in peaceful relations.
Would you like to come aboard our ship? You have no need to fear for your safety. There have been too many casualties on both sides. We are seeking a peaceful resolution.
Yes. I'd like to come aboard. You're from Zeta Reticuli.
Yes. We've been visiting planet Earth periodically for many years.
Why did you make those visits?
We have since ancient civilization. In fact, we have formed the basis for much of what is now ingrained in your culture.
Your species is unique in that you have a consciousness capable of the greatest love and divinity, yet your power and energy is often channeled into the creation of conflict.
As a consciousness, you are all one, yet you act like there is a separation.
You have identified the location where the alien crafts have landed in a cluster. It is time for the ultimate solution, Mr. President.
I didn't want it to come to this.
None of us did, sir.
How many estimated casualties?
With optimal placement, maybe only 40 to 50% of the regional population.
Those are pretty high figures.
We don't need to release those figures publicly. The media will cooperate. The key message we need to get out there is that we have eradicated the alien threat.
Do you think we're gonna make it?
Yes, there are billions of people on the planet, but a change in perception can start with just one.
This is about saving democracy, abiding by the laws our founding fathers are turning in their graves.
Thousands of people took to the streets in Washington and Nevada today to protest at the war and lockdown measures imposed by the government as a result of the ongoing battle with extraterrestrials. White House spokesperson Patty Bainbridge described the protesters as irresponsible and selfish for disobeying the government guidelines. Ms. Bainbridge warned that stricter measures may be imposed if people continue to flout the rules. This is Chuck Fallon, reporting for WGYN.
The futility of war. Oceans of blood spilled in every battle. Is it worth it? Beneath every uniform, it's a heart that needs peace and love, not death and destruction. A soldier fights for our freedom, but they themselves will never be free. They'll never be free from the bad memories or the trauma if they don't sacrifice the body. They sacrifice the mind. Governments tell their citizens it's about democracy, safety, bullshit. The truth is, no government in history ever put the needs of the people before their own thirst for power. Western society has been set up to benefit the powerful, wealthy elite, while the rest of us contend with the social and economic hardship. The whole damn system needs to change. But there's one ray of sunshine shining through these dark clouds. These psychopaths send these men off to war, line their own pockets, underestimate one thing: the human spirit. There is a soldier in every one of us. A warrior ready to fight through the fear, stand in their own sovereignty. No government can ever take that away.
Vietnam, 1970. I was a forward observer. I was just a kid. My most frightening experience ever. The bombs were dropping. I was lying face down in a slit trench. The brim of my helmet buried in the soft dirt, as close to the earth as I could get. I was holding my breath. The whining stopped. There was a pause. Then 200 or 300 yards away, another cluster of bombs exploded. A deep, heavy, rumbling detonation. I had plenty of time to think. But nothing came to mind except the fact that the next detonation was going to have my number on. Then the next bombs went off. The same all-embracing blanket detonation. Took me a minute, but I realized I hadn't been hit. I raised myself up. The flares were dimming, and in the half-darkness, I saw a figure running across the field. And for the first time since I jumped in that slit trench, I realized I wasn't alone. I was surrounded by trenches filled with my fellow soldiers. I wanted, no, I needed to talk to them. I sat in the trench for a couple minutes, trying to decide whether the raid would. I couldn't make up my mind. I was unable to bring into focus the obvious facts that the flares were stopping and the planes were almost out of earshot. I never did make up my mind, but I did want to talk to somebody. So I got out of the trench and ran a couple of yards to a dugout with boards and dirt on top. I was still shaking, but I could breathe. I was very self-conscious about just how scared I was. There were two of my friends in that bunker. They picked up a stray puppy. I crawled in and laughed at the pup because it was shaking as bad as I was. We spent 15 minutes discussing the raid and talking the terror out of our system. At the time, that's all you can do. You're shell-shocked, and you have to survive it and move forward in the midst of battle. It's not until you get home and try to live a normal life that you realize just how battle-scarred your mind is.
Navajo believe that death is a natural occurrence and not something to be feared. In the Native American perspective, death is not a defeat. They really have a wide sense of perspective. I guess that's what's happening to us right now. It's like all our lives we've been asleep. Now, finally, we're awake.
Congratulations, you two.
Thank you, Mum.
Thanks, Blaine.
How do you feel being a grandmother?
Oh, old.
Captain Turner speaking.
Yes, sir.
I've got a CLY priority on a 113.
Give me the code numbers.
AHR 909.
Sir, are you ready to give the order? Sir. Mr. President, are you there?
Yes.
It is time for the ultimate solution, Mr. President.
We're ready for the order, sir.
If we hit the targets from the south side, we should get optimal placement.
We're ready.
Bearing, Mark 220. Range, 34 miles. We are ready here, sir.
Are you ready to give the order?
Yes. I'm giving the order.
May history write you well.
underestimate one thing: the human spirit. There is a soldier in every one of us, a warrior ready to fight through the fear, stand in their own sovereignty.